In this video, we will provide 4 teams that are dark horse candidates to make the Final Four of this year's NCAA tournament. I'm Jake Letarski. This is Ryan Andrade. We're college basketball editors at RotoWire. Everybody knows Auburn, the top overall seed. The public is all over Florida. And of course, we all know Duke is going to be a threat as the number 1 seed with Cooper Flake coming back from his ankle injury. But we're going to try to examine a couple teams that might be able to sneak into the Final Four, and they're going to be teams that maybe you're not expecting. Maybe you can get an edge on your bracket while zigging when the other bit of the field zags. So, Ryan, start us off with one of your favorites.
Yeah, one team I'm looking out for is Maryland. I feel like they've been on the trend up here over the last month or so. I think their big advantage is in the front court. They got a lot of size that's hard for a lot of teams to deal with. Derek Queen, Julian Reese, those guys both average 9 rebounds a game. They got a lot there. And then you look in the backcourt as well. You know, Gillespie, Rice, Sultan Miguel, all those guys shoot the three extremely well. So I think really they're one of the most complete teams in the tournament. The only thing you might concern yourself with a little bit with them is just depth if they get into foul trouble. But as far as starting 5 goes, I think it's one of the best in this entire tournament. You look at Maryland, they've lost 8 games this year by a combined 28 points. So they're in the game every single time, it seems like, and I think they cover all ends of the floor well. And you look at, a potential maybe Sweet 16 matchup with a team like Florida. If they get out there, Florida's big advantage is that, they have all this size on the interior. They're tough to match up with, but Maryland is one of the few teams I think in this entire tournament that can bring it to them on the inside.
Yeah, right on. They have that great combination of homegrown talent, transfer portal acquisitions, and of course, 5-star freshman here in Queen. The team that I'm going to look to first is in the Midwest region, the number 5 seed Clemson. Everyone likes to dock the ACC minus Duke for being bad, and they want to pretend that these ACC teams aren't good. The ACC was just top heavy with a lot of really bad teams at the bottom, so we got to blow out a lot of teams, and it was really a race between Clemson, Louisville, and Duke. But Clemson actually beat Duke at one point during the season, and they're an interesting team for me because they're top 25 in Ken Palm's offensive and defensive efficiency, which checks one of those historic boxes. But the big thing for me is their experience. They're a top 10, number 8 in the country, actually, in D1 experience. They are deep across the board. Hunter and Zachary can shoot the 3. Ian Shefflin and Victor Locken form one of the front courts that is just as good as any front court in this field here. And, they check every boxes, good 3-point shooting. All upperclassmen, just a team that you think will want to go. Either 7.5-point favorites against McNeese, and the second round matchup is looking at maybe the Purdue High Point winner, which don't really think highly of either of those teams either. So Clemson's going to be one of my picks that could sneak in. Of course, they got to get through Houston or maybe Gonzaga. We'll see here, but they have the tools and experience to do it. You have one more team for us, Ryan?
Yeah, another team I'm looking for is BYU. I was really interested to see where this team shook out in the tournament. Committee gave them a 6th seed, and I think they got a pretty nice draw at the bottom of the East bracket here. They came into the Big 12 tournament rolling, had a big win over Iowa State there, and they kind of got taken advantage of by a very physical Houston team. But when I look at this bottom half of the East bracket, I don't think there's really very many teams that can just physically impose their will on them the way a Houston team could. So I think they got a good draw, provided they're able to get by a pesky VCU team. This BYU team, man, they can shoot it like no other. They got guys that can make buckets out there. Richie Saunders is, really the leader of this team. Jaeger Damon, the 6'9" point guard. He creates a lot of matchup problems for this team. So I really like their draw here. Obviously, if they were to advance out of the bottom half, they'd have to play a team in Duke. And, we still don't know how healthy Cooper Flagg is. He's going to play, but, if he's not 100%, that Duke defense isn't quite the same as it has been all season.
Yeah, absolutely. BYU keeps things, loses Mark Pope to Kentucky. Kevin Young keeps things rolling for the Cougars here. I'm actually going to look at another Big 12 team here, and that is the Texas Tech Red Raiders under Grant McCasland here. This team has loads of offense. They're 6th in Ken Palm efficiency, and it's a top 20 3-point shooting team. I mean, Hawkins, McMillan, Williams, or all of these guys can shoot the 3-point basket very well. But the name you're going to want to know from Texas Tech is JT Toppin, a great acquisition from the transfer portal, but he makes this team excellent rebounding, excellent at defending inside the paint, double threat every time he comes up out on the court here. So I'm going to go with the Red Raiders here. Again, they are the number 3 seed out of the West region here. I like their first round matchup to get NC Wilmington. I think they got the firepower to take care of Drake and or Missouri. And then, if St. John's makes it all the way here, I think St. John's is one of the weaker 2 seeds. So, of course, the tough battle will be against Florida there in the Elite Eight, but I think Texas Tech has what it takes to win the region and possibly the title there. So real quick, as we wrap things up, I want to take a moment to remind you to head to rotowire.com/try for a 48-hour trial. No strings credit card attached, nothing like that. We have team previews, daily best bets, pick'em columns, and with the NCAA tournament here, full player rankings and regional previews are all live on RotoWire. Just head to rotowire.com/try, 48 hours, no strings attached. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more March Madness content.